The heat hit Jung-woo Choi like a physical wall as he stepped out of his black Mercedes at the intersection of Camelback Road and 7th Street. Phoenix in July was unforgiving, 115 degrees of desert fury that turned asphalt into molten rivers and made the air shimmer like broken glass. He should have stayed in the air-conditioned comfort of his car, should have driven straight to his meeting with the Mexican cartel representatives who were waiting to discuss territory boundaries. Instead, he found himself walking toward a figure that had haunted his dreams for 5 years. Amanda Jackson sat on the burning concrete with a cardboard sign that read, "Anything helps, God bless," in careful handwriting. 3 small children clung to her, 2 boys and a girl, all around 4 years old, their faces flushed red from the heat. They looked exhausted, dehydrated, and heartbreakingly vulnerable. But it was Amanda who stopped Jung-woo's world from turning, the woman who had disappeared from his life without explanation, without goodbye, without a trace. Amanda. She looked up, and Jung-woo watched recognition hit her like a slap. Her brown eyes went wide with shock, then narrowed with something that looked like panic. "Jung-woo!" Her voice was barely a whisper. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing." He knelt down, ignoring the way the concrete burned through his expensive pants. "What happened to you? Where have you been?" The little girl, beautiful, with Amanda's warm brown skin but distinctly Asian eyes, tugged at her mother's sleeve. "Mama, who is this man?" Jung-woo's breath caught. The child's features were a perfect blend of Amanda's and his own. The boys shared similar characteristics. Dark hair, almond-shaped eyes, the same stubborn chin Jung-woo saw in the mirror every morning. "How old are they?" he asked quietly. Amanda's silence was answer enough. "March 15th, she finally whispered. "They were born March 15th. Jung-woo did the math quickly. March meant conception in June, 5 years ago, right around the time Amanda had vanished from his life. "Get in the car," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "All of you, it's too hot out here. We don't need your help." "Yes, you do." Jung-woo looked at the children, who were wilting in the desert heat. "And I think they might be my responsibility." The hotel room was a sanctuary of cool air and soft beds. Jung-woo watched Amanda settle the children. Dante, Arya, and Zion, she told him their names were, on one of the queen beds. They fell asleep almost immediately, exhausted by heat and hunger. "They're beautiful," Jung-woo said quietly. "They're everything to me." Amanda's voice was fierce with protective love. "Amanda, I need to know what happened, why you left, why you never told me about them." She was quiet for a long moment, watching her children sleep. When she spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "I found out I was pregnant 3 days after our last fight. Remember, the one where you stormed out and didn't come back for a week?" Jung-woo remembered. It had been about her questions. Too many questions about his work, his schedule, the phone calls he took at all hours. "I was scared," Amanda continued. "Pregnant with triplets, no family support, and dating a man who couldn't give me straight answers about what he did for a living. You could have told me, could I? Because the day I decided to tell you, your fiancé showed up at my apartment." Jung-woo went very still. "My what?" "Carolina Song. She had pictures of you two together, told me all about your engagement, your family's expectations. She said you were just slumming with me, that when it came time for marriage and family, you'd choose someone from your own world." The manipulation was exactly Carolina's style. Calculated, cruel, designed to exploit Amanda's vulnerabilities. "She made me an offer," Amanda continued, "disappear quietly, and she'd make sure I had enough money to raise the babies. But if I tried to contact you, she'd destroy me. She had connections, Jung-woo. Powerful ones." "So you left?" "I left. Moved to Tucson, had the babies, tried to build a life. And for a while it worked. But every time I got settled, every time things started going well, something would happen. I'd lose my job, my apartment would become unavailable, childcare would fall through. Always something different, always plausibly deniable. She was still controlling you. For 5 years. The last job I lost was 2 months ago. We've been living in my car ever since." A soft knock interrupted them. Jung-woo opened the door expecting room service, but found Carolina Song herself standing in the hallway. She looked perfect as always, designer suit, flawless makeup, the confidence of someone who had never worried about where her next meal would come from. "Hello, darling," Carolina said, stepping into the room uninvited. "I was worried when you missed your meeting." Her eyes moved to Amanda, and a cold smile played at her lips. "Hello, Amanda. Still making poor choices, I see." "Get out," Amanda said quietly. "I don't think so." Carolina's gaze moved to the sleeping children. "Are these the little bastards you've been dragging around?" Jung-woo stepped between Carolina and the bed, his voice dropping to a dangerous quiet. "You need to leave. Now." "Do I? Because it seems to me that you're the one making poor choices, Jung-woo, taking a homeless woman and her children to a hotel. The implications could be quite damaging." She pulled out her phone, showing photos she'd obviously taken earlier. "I have some very interesting pictures from this afternoon. A prominent businessman with a known criminal background picking up a desperate woman and her children. What would your business associates think? Your family?" "What do you want, Carolina?" "The same thing I've always wanted. Your complete loyalty, and for her to disappear, permanently this time." Amanda stepped forward, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. "You've taken everything from me, my job, my home, my security, but you will not take my children." "Won't I? I have resources you can't imagine, connections you can't fight. A court would be very interested to know that you're raising children in a car, exposing them to dangerous situations." The threat was clear. Carolina wasn't just threatening to destroy Amanda's life anymore, she was threatening to take her children. Jung-woo looked at the sleeping children, then at Amanda, who was trying so hard to be brave despite the terror in her eyes. The choice was surprisingly clear. "You're right," he said quietly. "I do have a choice to make." Carolina's smile was triumphant. "I knew you'd see reason. I choose them." The words hung in the air like a challenge. Carolina's expression shifted from triumph to cold fury. "You're making a mistake, Jung-woo. A very expensive mistake. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make." Carolina's laugh was sharp and bitter. "You have no idea what you've just done. No idea what this is going to cost you." She turned toward the door, pausing to look back at Amanda with venom in her eyes. "Enjoy this moment, because it's the last happy one you're going to have." After she left, Amanda whispered, "She's going to destroy us." Jung-woo moved to the window, watching Carolina's car disappear into Phoenix traffic. "Let her try," he said quietly. "She's been playing games for 5 years. But she's never played against someone who has everything to lose." The call from Sang-min came at dawn. "Boss, we have a problem. Your father wants to see you. Carolina went to him last night." Jung-woo glanced at Amanda and the children, still sleeping peacefully in the adjoining room. "What does he know?" "Everything. She's been very thorough." The Choi family compound in Paradise Valley was a fortress of wealth and tradition. Jung-woo found his parents and Carolina waiting in his father's study, the same room where he'd received his most important life lessons. Jung-woo Choi sat behind his massive desk, his expression unreadable. Mi-young, Jung-woo's mother, occupied her usual chair, her face carefully neutral. Carolina sat on the leather sofa, looking perfectly at home. "Sit down, son," Jung said quietly. Jung-woo took the chair across from his father, the same chair he'd sat in as a child when he'd disappointed the family. "Carolina has shared some concerning information with us," Jung continued. "She tells us you've become involved with a woman from your past. A woman with children who may or may not be yours. Her name is Amanda Jackson, and the children are mine. You're certain?" "I'm certain." Carolina spoke for the first time, her voice honey-sweet. "Jung-woo, darling, you must consider the possibility that this woman is manipulating you. She disappeared for 5 years, and now she conveniently appears with 3 children just when she needs help most. That's not what happened, isn't it? What are the odds that you would just happen to encounter her at that exact moment, in that exact place?" The question planted a seed of doubt, but Jung-woo pushed it aside. He'd seen his own features in his children's faces, felt the instant recognition that came with shared blood. Jin leaned forward. "Son, I need you to consider that this woman may not be the victim you believe her to be. And I need you to consider that Carolina has her own reasons for wanting Amanda gone, reasons that have nothing to do with protecting the family. Carolina's perfect composure cracked slightly. Of course I want her gone. I love you, Jung-woo. The idea of you being manipulated. We're not engaged, Carolina. The words dropped into the room like stones. Carolina's mask slipped for just a moment, revealing something cold beneath. We've discussed marriage. Our families have expectations. Your expectations, not mine. Hae-jin held up a hand. Regardless of your personal relationships, we have a business to consider. Carolina has been invaluable to our operations. Her connections, her understanding runs deeper than you know, Jung-woo interrupted. Tell them, Carolina. Tell them how you've been watching Amanda for 5 years, how you've systematically destroyed every chance she's had to build a stable life. Carolina's expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't you? Then explain how you knew exactly where to find us yesterday. Explain how you happened to have photographs ready. The room fell silent. Mi-young was watching Carolina with new interest. Carolina, Hae-jin said quietly, perhaps you could clarify your involvement. For a moment, Carolina looked like she might maintain her facade. Then something shifted, and Jung-woo saw the mask slip completely. Fine, she said, her voice losing its musical quality. Yes, I've been monitoring Amanda Jackson. Yes, I've interfered when necessary. Everything I did was to protect Jung-woo and this family. The admission hung in the air. But she was a liability 5 years ago, and she's an even bigger liability now. She knows too much about Jung-woo's personal life, his vulnerabilities. They're his children, Mi-young said quietly. Are they? Have we seen DNA tests? Or are we taking the word of a desperate woman? Jung-woo stood up, his patience exhausted. Enough. Carolina, you've manipulated this situation from the beginning. You've spent 5 years terrorizing an innocent woman because you couldn't accept that I didn't love you. Love? Carolina's laugh was bitter. You think this is about love? This has never been about love, Jung-woo. She stood as well, and for the first time Jung-woo saw Carolina's true face, cold, calculating, utterly without warmth. This is about power, about building something that lasts. Your little Amanda could never give you what I can. And what's that? Carolina moved to the window, looking out at the desert landscape. Protection from the people who've been watching your family for years, from the investigations that could destroy everything you've built. She turned back to face them, her expression serene. You see, I know about the money laundering, the protection rackets, the territory agreements. I know everything, and I've documented everything. The room was silent except for the air conditioning and Jung-woo's heartbeat. You're blackmailing us, he said. I'm protecting my investment. I've spent 3 years positioning myself as an asset, gaining your trust. I'm not going to let some homeless woman destroy everything I've worked for. Carolina's gaze fixed on Jung-woo. Choose me and your family stay safe. Your business continues to prosper. Choose her, and I make one phone call that brings your entire world crashing down. Jung-woo felt the weight of 3 generations pressing down on him. But then he thought of Arya's small hand in his, of Dante's serious face, of Amanda's courage. You're right about one thing, he said quietly. This is about choice, and I've made mine. Jung-woo, think about what you're doing. I'm choosing my family, my real family. He turned to his parents. I'm sorry. I know this puts you in an impossible position, but I won't sacrifice Amanda and the children. Hae-jin was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was heavy. Then you're no longer part of this family, Jung-woo. You're no longer part of this business. The words hit like physical blows, but Jung-woo stood his ground. I understand. Carolina's voice was triumphant. Do you really understand what you've just given up? Your money, your position, your power, all gone. For what? Jung-woo met her gaze steadily. For the chance to be the man my children deserve. As he turned to leave, Mi-young's voice stopped him. Jung-woo. His mother's voice was soft. Those children, they're really yours? Yes, mother. Mi-young looked at her husband, then reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. Then they're my grandchildren, and grandchildren should not go hungry. She pressed the envelope into his hands. "It's not much, but it should help you get started somewhere safe." Hae-jin's expression was thunderous, but Mi-young stood firm. "They're our blood. Whatever else happens, they're our blood." As Jung-woo left the house where he'd grown up, Carolina's voice followed him. "This isn't over, Jung-woo. You have no idea what you've started." But for the first time in his adult life, Jung-woo felt like he was walking towards something instead of away from it. Jung-woo's phone rang as he drove back to the hotel. Amanda's voice was tight with fear. "Jung-woo, something's wrong. There are men outside asking questions about us. Get the children and get out. Meet me at the Desert Botanical Garden in 30 minutes. "What happened? What did she do? She showed her true colors, and now we're all in danger." The butterfly pavilion was humid and green, filled with tropical plants and colorful butterflies. Jung-woo found Amanda and the children on a bench near the waterfall, their faces pale with exhaustion. Dante was coughing more frequently, his small body shaking. Arya clung to Amanda's arm, her eyes wide with fear. Zion sat quietly, but Jung-woo could see the tension in his shoulders. "Are you all right?" Jung-woo asked. "For now." But those men at the hotel, they knew things they shouldn't have known. Jung-woo's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "Check your email. You have 1 hour to reconsider." See, the email contained a video file showing Amanda and the children in their hotel room, sleeping peacefully. The camera angle suggested it had been taken from outside with a telephoto lens. Carolina's voice provided narration. Amanda Jackson, age 29, unemployed, currently homeless with 3 minor children. The children appear malnourished and show signs of neglect. Child Protective Services should be notified immediately. "Oh my God," Amanda whispered. "She's going to use this to take my children." Jung-woo's phone rang. Carolina's voice was honey-sweet. "Hello, darling. I trust you've reviewed my documentary? What do you want?" "The same thing I've always wanted. Your complete loyalty." Jung-woo looked at his children who were watching him with growing fear. "And if I refuse?" "Then that video gets sent to Child Protective Services, the FBI, and every major news outlet in Arizona. Amanda will lose her children while you both face criminal charges." "You have 1 hour," Carolina continued. "Come back to the house, apologize, commit to our engagement, and I'll make this all go away. And Amanda, the children, will be provided for. I'm not heartless, Jung-woo. Amanda will receive a settlement and relocation assistance. The children will have trust funds. Everyone gets what they need, except the truth. The truth is a luxury you can't afford anymore." The line went dead. Jung-woo stared at his phone while his world collapsed around him. "Jung-woo?" Amanda's voice was quiet but steady. "Whatever she's threatening, don't do it." "Amanda, you don't understand. She has evidence, connections. I understand that she's been terrorizing me and my children for 5 years. But I also understand that you're not the same man who let her manipulate you before." Amanda took his hands. "You've changed. I can see it in how you look at the children, how you fought for us today. She'll destroy us. Maybe. But if you go back to her now, she's already destroyed us. She's destroyed the man I fell in love with." Dante chose that moment to have a severe coughing fit. Jung-woo lifted him, feeling how hot his small body was. "He needs a doctor," Jung-woo said. "I know, but if we use insurance or give real names, Carolina will find us." Jung-woo understood the trap. "She's counting on us being too afraid to seek help." He looked at his son and felt something crystallize in his chest. "No more running," he said quietly. "Jung-woo, no more hiding, no more being afraid. She's been controlling our lives for 5 years, and it ends now." Jung-woo pulled out his phone and called Sang-min. "I need you to take Dante to the hospital. Use your insurance, your name, whatever it takes. And you. I'm going to end this, once and for all." As Sang-min arrived to take Dante to the hospital, the little boy looked up at Jung-woo with curious eyes. "Are you coming too, Daddy?" The word hit Jung-woo like lightning. Dante had never called him Daddy before. "I'll be there soon," Jung-woo promised. "I just have to take care of something first." He turned to Amanda. "I need you to trust me. Whatever happens next, I'm doing it to protect all of you." Amanda searched his face, then nodded. I trust you. But be careful. Carolina's not just manipulative. She's dangerous. Jung-woo kissed her forehead, then hugged Arya and Zion. I love you, he told them, and I'm going to make sure no one ever hurts you again. But as he walked toward his car, Jung-woo's phone rang with an unknown number. Jung-woo, the voice was older, accented. My name is Chen Wei-long. I believe we need to talk. Jung-woo felt ice in his veins. Chen Wei-long was the head of the Black Tiger organization, Desert Lotus's primary rival. Mr. Chen, this is unexpected. Is it? We have a mutual problem. A problem named Carolina Song. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the woman who has been feeding information about your family to my organization for 3 years. The woman who killed my nephew, Song Wei-ming, and made it look like your people did it. The world tilted. Carolina works for you. Worked, past tense. She was supposed to gather intelligence. Instead, she became obsessed with you personally. 3 days ago, she came to me with a proposal to eliminate what she called obstacles to her relationship with you. When I asked for clarification, she showed me photographs of a woman and 3 children. Jung-woo's hands clenched into fists. And I realized Carolina Song had become a liability to everyone. I may be your rival, Jung-woo, but I don't make war on children. And I don't work with people who've lost sight of the difference between business and obsession. Chen paused. She killed my nephew when he tried to convince her to abandon her obsession with you, made it look like Desert Lotus was responsible. The revelation hit Jung-woo like a physical blow. Song Wei-ming, found dead 6 months ago with Desert Lotus calling cards. She's been playing us against each other, Jung-woo said, for years. Help me bring her down and I'll make sure the evidence she's gathered disappears. Refuse, and I'll let her destroy you both before dealing with her myself. Jung-woo closed his eyes. What do you want me to do? Meet me at the old warehouse on South Mountain. Come alone. It's time to end Carolina Song's game. As Jung-woo drove toward the meeting, he thought about Dante calling him daddy, about Arya's trust, about Amanda's courage. Some things were worth any risk. Carolina Song was about to learn that lesson the hard way. The warehouse sat like a concrete tomb in the desert heat. Chen Wei-long waited in the shade, a slight man in his 60s with silver hair and the stillness of absolute confidence. Jung-woo, thank you for coming. Nothing about today has been easy. Chen gestured toward the warehouse. What I have to show you will make it even more difficult. Inside, laptops glowed in the dim light. Chen pulled up a file. Carolina Song, real name, Song Carolina Wei-ming, recruited by my organization 4 years ago to infiltrate Desert Lotus. The screen showed photos Jung-woo had never seen. Carolina younger, harder, expensive clothes suggesting serious money. Her mission was simple. Gather intelligence, create opportunities for expansion. Instead, she became obsessed with you. Chen clicked to surveillance photos of Jung-woo and Carolina together. When her brother tried to remind her of her actual mission, she had him killed. Crime scene photos made Jung-woo's stomach turn. Song Wei-ming, young and earnest, reduced to a broken body in an alley. She planted evidence to make it look like your organization was responsible. I'm sorry, Jung-woo said quietly. If I had known... Wei-ming was my sister's son, a good boy who didn't deserve to die because his sister lost sight of her priorities. Chen clicked to financial records. For 2 years, she's been embezzling from both our organizations, nearly $2 million. Every gift Carolina had given, every expensive dinner, all funded by theft. She's been documenting everything about your family's operations, enough evidence to destroy Desert Lotus completely. The screen showed audio files, video recordings, financial documents. But I've been documenting her activities as well. Every theft, every manipulation, every crime. Enough to ensure she spends life in federal prison. What do you want in return? Your cooperation in bringing her to justice and a truce between our organizations. This war has cost both families too much. Jung-woo studied Chen's face, looking for deception. But the older man's expression was open, almost weary. You're serious about the truce? I'm tired, Jung-woo. Tired of violence. Tired of burying young men like my nephew because of territorial disputes that benefit no one. Jung-woo's phone buzzed. 28 minutes. I'm growing impatient. See, she's expecting me to surrender, Jung-woo said. And what will you choose? Jung-woo thought about Amanda's courage, his children's trust, the man he wanted to be. I choose the truth, whatever the cost. The plan was simple. Jung-woo would meet Carolina as requested, but he wouldn't be alone. Chen's people would be positioned throughout the area, recording everything. Jung-woo would wear a wire capturing Carolina's final confession. Remember, Chen said, she's dangerous when cornered. I won't let her threaten my family anymore. Jung-woo called Amanda to check on the children. How's Dante? Better. The hospital treated his bronchitis. He should be fine with antibiotics and rest. I'm ending it, Amanda. All of it. After today, Carolina will never hurt you again. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise. The family compound looked smaller in the late afternoon light. Jung-woo parked and walked toward the front door, knowing it might be the last time. Carolina waited in the study, sitting behind his father's desk as if she owned it. She'd changed into a flowing dress that made her look younger, more vulnerable. But Jung-woo could see the calculation in her eyes. You came, she said, rising to greet him. I wasn't entirely certain you would. Where are my parents? Out. I thought privacy would be better for this conversation. Carolina moved around the desk, graceful and predatory. Have you made your decision? I have. And? Jung-woo met her gaze, thinking about the recording device, about Chen's people, about Amanda and the children waiting for him. I choose you, he said. Carolina's smile was radiant, triumphant. I knew you would see reason. But I have conditions. I want to know everything. Every move you've made, every plan you've implemented. If we're going to be partners, I need to understand what I'm getting into. Carolina laughed. Darling, you don't need to worry about details. I've handled everything. The way you handled Song Wei-ming, the words dropped like stones. Carolina went very still. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you? Song Wei-ming, 25, found dead 6 months ago with Desert Lotus calling cards. Your brother, Carolina, or should I say, Song Carolina Wei-ming. Carolina's mask slipped completely. How did you... Chen Wei-long sends his regards. He's very interested in discussing your brother's death. Carolina's hand moved toward her purse, but Jung-woo caught her wrist. It's over, Carolina. The manipulation, the blackmail, the games, it ends today. You have no idea what you're doing, Carolina hissed, her voice losing its musical quality. You think Chen Wei-long is your ally? You're a fool. Maybe. But I've learned to tell the difference between love and obsession. Carolina jerked free, backing away with fluid grace. You want the truth? Fine. Yes, I killed Wei-ming. He was weak, sentimental, just like you. He couldn't understand that sometimes you sacrifice the few to save the many. Save the many or save yourself? Same thing. I've spent 4 years building this operation, positioning myself perfectly. And I did it all for us, Jung-woo, for our future together. Our future? Carolina, we were never together. You were playing a role, using me. I loved you. The words exploded out with shocking violence. I loved you more than anyone has ever loved another person. I gave up everything for you. And you threw it all away for some homeless woman and her bastard children. Those children are mine. My blood, my responsibility, my family. Are they? Have you seen DNA tests, or are you taking the word of a desperate woman? They're mine, Jung-woo said quietly, and Amanda is the woman I love. Carolina's laugh was sharp and bitter. Love? This has never been about love. This is about power, about building something that lasts. She moved to the window. I could have given you everything. An empire spanning both sides of the Pacific. Political connections that would have made you untouchable. Built on lies and murder. Built on strength. Built on understanding that the weak exist to serve the strong. That sentiment is a luxury leaders can't afford. And Amanda, my children, just acceptable casualties? Carolina's expression became thoughtful. Amanda Jackson was a complication that needed resolving. The children, well, children are adaptable. The casual dismissal hit Jung-woo like a blow. You're insane. I'm practical, and I'm done playing games. Carolina pulled out a small pistol, pointing it at Jung-woo's chest. I've spent 4 years documenting your family's operations. I have enough evidence to destroy not just you, but your parents, your associates, everyone you've ever cared about. Except you've been stealing from us, embezzling money, selling information. Chen Weilong has documentation of all of it. Chen Weilong is about to have an unfortunate accident, as are you. As is anyone else who threatens my position. You can't kill everyone, Carolina. Can't I? I'm not some lovesick woman who got in over her head. I'm a professional. I've been trained for this since I was 16. She gestured with the gun. Your family will be arrested within the week. Chen Weilong will be found dead tomorrow. And Amanda Jackson and her children will simply disappear. There's just one problem with your plan, Jung-woo said quietly. What's that? You're not the only one recording this conversation. Carolina's expression faltered. What? Chen Weilong's people have been listening to every word. They're positioned around the compound. Carolina pulled out her phone, eyes widening at the flood of messages. Impossible. Chen's been planning this for months, ever since he discovered you killed his nephew. You just gave him everything he needed. Vehicle sounds echoed from the driveway. Carolina's head snapped toward the window. This isn't over, she said, voice shaking with rage. Even if they arrest me, I still have enough evidence to destroy your family. No, Jung-woo said quietly. You don't. The study door opened. Chen Weilong entered with 2 FBI agents, followed by Jung-woo's parents. Carolina Song, one agent said, you're under arrest for conspiracy, murder, racketeering, and about 15 other federal charges. As they read her rights, Carolina kept her eyes on Jung-woo. This isn't over. I'll destroy you. I'll destroy everyone you love. No, Jung-woo said again. You won't. Because the only power you ever had was the power I gave you, and I'm taking it back. As the agents led Carolina away, she turned back one final time. You'll regret this. When Amanda leaves you, when those children realize what kind of man their father really is. The kind of man who chooses love over power? Jung-woo interrupted. I can live with that. After Carolina was gone, Hae-jin approached his son. Jung-woo, I owe you an apology. We all do. You were protecting the family. No, we were protecting our pride. There's a difference. Hae-jin's voice was heavy with regret. Those children, our grandchildren, they're welcome here, always. Mi-young stepped forward, tears in her eyes. Can you forgive us? Jung-woo thought about Amanda waiting at the hospital with Dante, about Arya and Zion who needed stability and love. There's nothing to forgive. We're family. 10 months later, Flagstaff, Arizona. The small house on the outskirts of Flagstaff was nothing like the luxury Jung-woo had grown up with. But as he watched Dante chase butterflies in the backyard, while Arya and Zion built elaborate sandcastles, he couldn't imagine wanting anything more. Amanda emerged from the kitchen, her hair pulled back in a ponytail, wearing scrubs from her job at the local hospital. She'd started as a patient coordinator and was already being considered for a promotion to department supervisor. How was work? Jung-woo asked, pulling her into his arms. Good, busy. Dr. Martinez said the new patient satisfaction scores are the highest the department's ever had. She smiled up at him. How was your day? Jung-woo had started his own security consulting firm, helping small businesses protect themselves from cyber threats. It was honest work, satisfying in a way his old life had never been. Dante helped me fix the fence this morning. He's getting good with tools. And his cough? Gone completely. Dr. Patel says his lungs are clear. They stood together, watching their children play. The triplets had adapted to their new life with the resilience that only children possessed. They attended the local elementary school, had made friends, and most importantly, they felt safe. Jung-woo, Amanda said quietly, I need to tell you something. He looked down at her, noting the nervous excitement in her voice. What is it? I'm pregnant. The words hit him like lightning. Jung-woo stared at her, processing what she'd said. Pregnant, are you sure? I took 3 tests, then I went to the doctor. I'm about 8 weeks along. Jung-woo felt tears he didn't expect gathering in his eyes. Amanda, that's incredible. You're happy? Happy? I'm ecstatic. He spun her around, both of them laughing. When? How long have you known? I suspected for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to be sure before I told you. Jung-woo set her down gently, his hands moving to her still flat stomach. A baby, he said wonderfully. Our baby. Are you ready to do this again? Sleepless nights, diapers, teething? With you? I'm ready for anything. The children noticed their parents' excitement and came running over. What's happening? Dante asked, always the most perceptive of the three. Mama and Daddy have some news, Amanda said, kneeling down to their level. You're going to have a little brother or sister. Arya's eyes went wide. A baby, a real baby? A real baby, Jung-woo confirmed. Can we name it? Zion asked, speaking up for the first time that day. We'll all talk about names together, Amanda promised. As the children peppered them with questions about the baby, Jung-woo's phone rang. He almost didn't answer it, but the caller ID showed his mother's number. Hello, Mother. Jung-woo, I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. Never. What's going on? Your father and I were wondering, would it be all right if we came to visit this weekend? We'd like to see the children, and we have some things we'd like to discuss with you and Amanda. Jung-woo looked at Amanda, who nodded encouragingly. Of course, you're always welcome here. Wonderful. And Jung-woo, we're very proud of you, of the life you've built, the man you've become. Your father wanted me to make sure you knew that. After he hung up, Amanda slipped her hand into his. Everything okay? Everything's perfect, Jung-woo said, meaning it completely. That evening, after the children were asleep, Jung-woo and Amanda sat on their small porch, watching the stars appear over the Arizona mountains. Do you ever miss it? Amanda asked. The money, the power, the respect that came with your old life. Jung-woo considered the question seriously. Sometimes I miss the security of knowing I could solve any problem with money or influence, but I don't miss the fear, the constant looking over my shoulder, the knowledge that everything I had was built on other people's suffering. He squeezed her hand. This life, our life, it's real, it's honest, it's ours. Even with a fourth child on the way. Especially with a fourth child on the way. Amanda leaned against his shoulder. I love you, Jung-woo. Not for what you can provide or what you can protect us from, just for who you are. I love you too, all of you, more than I ever thought possible. As they sat in comfortable silence, Jung-woo reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Carolina Song was serving 3 consecutive life sentences in federal prison, her network of corruption and manipulation finally exposed. Chen Wei-long had kept his word about the truce, and the 2 organizations now coexisted peacefully, focusing on legitimate business ventures. The Choi family had restructured their operations, moving away from the gray areas that had defined their past and toward completely legal enterprises. Hei-jin had stepped down as head of the organization, passing control to a board of directors that included both family members and outside advisors. Most importantly, Jung-woo had found something he'd never known he was missing. A sense of purpose that came not from power or wealth, but from love and responsibility, and the simple joy of being exactly where he belonged. Jung-woo? Amanda's voice was sleepy. What should we name the baby? Jung-woo smiled, thinking about the new life growing inside the woman he loved, about the family they'd built together against all odds. How about Grace, he suggested, because that's what this whole thing has been. Grace. Undeserved. Unexpected. Perfect Grace. Amanda tilted her head up to look at him. Grace. I like that. Grace Choi, Jung-woo said, testing how it sounded. Our little miracle. As the desert wind carried the scent of sage and possibility across their small yard, Jung-woo closed his eyes and made a silent promise to the child who wasn't even born yet, to the 3 children sleeping safely in their beds, and to the woman whose courage had saved them all. He would be the father they deserved, the husband Amanda deserved, the man he'd always had the potential to be, but had never found the courage to become until love gave him no other choice. In the distance, a coyote called to its pack, the sound echoing off the red rocks and endless sky. But Jung-woo wasn't afraid of the wilderness anymore. He'd found his way home. The desert botanical garden was transformed for the wedding, with white flowers and flowing fabric that caught the desert breeze. Jung-woo stood at the altar, in a simple black suit, watching Amanda walk down the aisle in a dress the color of sunset. Dante, now 6 and serious in his role as ring-bearer, carried the rings with the solemnity of someone entrusted with a sacred duty. Arya scattered rose petals with artistic flair, while Zion walked beside her, his quiet dignity adding weight to the moment. In the front row, Hai-jin and Mi-young sat with baby Grace, who at 18 months was a perfect blend of her parents' features. Sang-min stood as Jung-woo's best man, while Keisha Williams served as Amanda's maid of honor. Pastor Brooks, who had helped Amanda through the darkest days of her homelessness, performed the ceremony with words about second chances and the power of love to transform even the most broken situations. Do you, Jung-woo, take Amanda to be your wife, to love and cherish, in prosperity and adversity, for all the days of your life? I do, Jung-woo said, his voice steady and sure. Do you, Amanda, take Jung-woo to be your husband, to love and cherish, in prosperity and adversity, for all the days of your life? I do, Amanda replied, tears of joy streaming down her face. As they exchanged rings, Jung-woo thought about the journey that had brought them to this moment, the desperation and fear, the manipulation and betrayal, the choices that had seemed impossible but had ultimately led to this perfect day. You may kiss your bride, Pastor Brooks announced. Jung-woo cupped Amanda's face in his hands, looking into the eyes of the woman who had saved him from a life of hollow power and meaningless wealth. I love you, Mrs. Choi, he whispered. I love you too, Mr. Choi, she whispered back. Their kiss was gentle, full of promise and hope, and the absolute certainty that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. As they turned to face their family and friends, Grace toddled toward them on unsteady legs, her arms outstretched. Jung-woo scooped her up, and Amanda gathered Dante, Arya, and Zion into a group hug. Are we really a family now? Dante asked, his serious little face looking up at his parents. We've always been a family, Amanda said gently. Now we just have a piece of paper that makes it official. And a party with cake, Arya added pragmatically. Don't forget the cake, Jung-woo agreed, laughing. As they walked back down the aisle together, husband and wife, parents and children, a family forged in the crucible of adversity and sealed with love. Jung-woo reflected on the words he'd spoken to Carolina Song in what felt like another lifetime. The only power you ever had was the power I gave you. He'd learned that love was the same way. It only had the power you gave it. But unlike manipulation or control, love grew stronger when you gave it away freely, when you chose it over fear, when you trusted it to transform not just your own life but the lives of everyone it touched. The desert sun was setting behind them, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. But Jung-woo wasn't looking back anymore. He was looking forward, toward a future bright with possibility, surrounded by the people who mattered most. In his arms, Grace babbled happily, reaching for the butterflies that danced around the garden's flowers. Beside him, Amanda glowed with happiness, her hand firmly clasped in his, and around them, their children, all their children, laughed and played and filled the world with the kind of joy that could only come from a family built on truth, sustained by love and blessed with the grace of second chances. The Korean Mafia boss who had once ruled through fear and intimidation was gone, replaced by a man who had discovered that the greatest power of all was the power to love and be loved in return. And in the end, that made all the difference.